There are two types of information in biology. The one you all know about is DNA, genetic information. It's a great way to store information. In fact, you can get information out of a fossil. I can go to a mummy and see that mummy's DNA. That's a very robust way to store information. It's way better than a compact disc or a hard drive. They wouldn't last thousands of years, would they? So DNA is a great storage of information. And the reason it's particularly impressive, you can lose information pretty easily if it's stored in analog. But DNA, it's digital. ATCG, that's a digital code. It's not binary, it's quaternary. So what is it about the body's information that gets lost over time? Turns out we used to think it was the digital information that we lost. We've all heard that mutations drive aging. We're losing genetic information as we get older. The problem with that is that you can delete a lot of genetic information in animals and they don't age. It's also true that very few mutations can be found in our old bodies. The smoking gun just isn't there. And what happened to the field a few years ago was we had no clue what was driving aging at the fundamental level, because the old idea of free radical damage and mutations was out the window. We had nothing to replace it with. That the other type of information is what we lose over time. It's the analog information in the body, and that's not very stable at all. So what's the analog information? It's this green stuff. This is the DNA, the digital, and the packaging of the genome is the analog form of information. But we need analog information because the analog system tells the cell which genes to read. And without knowing which genes to read, a cell is basically a tumor at best, or dead. We need to have these structures that say, read this gene, but bundle up all these others so you don't read those genes. If all cells read every gene, a nerve cell wouldn't be a nerve cell, and a skin cell wouldn't be a skin cell. You need to be able to tell it, only read those 10% of genes and turn off those others. And what we found during aging is that these structures that control how the DNA is packaged, the analog information, which we call the epigenetic information or epigenome, is what gets screwed up with time.